Right. Well. Gonna keep keeping on. Zero viewers is about the number of viewers that I figured I would have. Woo! Out. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, buddy? Adam? How strange. Give me 1 second. I'm going to fuck around with Discord. Neat. I'm not talking. Give me 1 second. I'm about to try talking in a way that you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Let's see. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Adam? Can you hear me? Check the output device on Discord. Okay. I am talking right now. I am currently saying many words, the best words, all of the words, the big fancy words. Some of them, like anti-disestablishmentarianism, are very long. Others are shorter, like pie. Adam, can you hear me? Adam, can you hear me? Neat. Yeah, I guess. Is this something you want to keep dealing with, or? Alrighty. Cool. 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 Alright. I'm going to go live to our 0 viewers. Hey, hello everyone. I am Steve Thomas at Choice Minis on your social media of choice, and welcome to our very 3rd live stream. I'm joined by my co-host, Master Tribble Tactician, a man who I'm not quite sure how to ask on a platonic sleepover, Adam Grimm. Mr. A. Grimm on Instagram. Adam, how's it going tonight? Ooh, I like rock picking. Ooh, well, I of course lost last week's Champions Duel, unfortunately. Gandalf the Grey bidded against a bunch of tribbles in a hot dog eating contest, so that was sad and disappointing. On tonight's stream, we are working on Project Never Fallen. This is our let's create really cool versions of the first founding infantry, except for nobody falls to the ruinous powers. except for some guys we're about to talk about. Adam, how are the fallen? They good? They're out there being fallen? That's fair. Their aims are unknowable, and their service is forever in doubt. All right, man. So let's get into what I'm going to do tonight. You guys can see here that I've got the model fully assembled, or at least fully assembled looking. It's actually just blue tacked together because I wanted to start looking at posing and how the silhouette looks and whether or not its reading is cool. I also printed a different helmet because I wanted a different helmet on him. After 3 months of staring at the last helmet, I finally decided it was no bueno. And according to our one vote after the last live stream in the comments and in chat, we are taking off this gun tonight. So that's where I'm going to get started. I'm going to disassemble this guy and then we're going to get going. So, other than picking rocks at him, how was everything this week? Yep. That's totally fair. Yeah, that's Hey Sean, how's it going, man? See, Sean's on the line with us. How's it going, buddy? So, as you guys, or as Sean can see, our one viewer currently, I'm going to stop paying attention to that number. As Sean can see, I'm going through, pulling off blue tack, and we're going to get into pulling big pieces of this model off again tonight. So, Adam, I have a continuing saga of ordering crap off the internet and it never showing up when it says it's going to. I ordered almost a month ago. I ordered the Primaris Dark Angel's upgrade sprue. And I was like, well, a month is plenty of time for it to show up. Yeah, so then, 2 weeks ago, I asked Games Workshop. I was like, what up, GW? I said, send this to the store because I'd like to just go pick it up nice and close to me. And they were like, yeah, that's real weird. It should already be at the store. I don't know. It's in stock. I was like, in stock in the store? And they were like, oh, no, forget about that. But it is in stock in the Western US distribution site. And I was like, okay, so how long? And they're like, an amount of time. And I was like, that's not a good answer. So then they finally got back to me this morning and were like, hey, we have an answer soon. So, the bits that I wanted to replace the gun with, not here yet, but that's not going to stop me from pulling it off. Glad to hear you're having a good day, Sean. So, can't hear you at all? Oh, give me 1 second. That might be on my end. Because it is. All right, Adam, you're on now. Say something to the wonderful person.
Hey, Sean, can you hear me now? Now we have to wait for his reply in chat.
Yeah, see? I got the stream latency way down. So now, yeah, Adam can hear you. Oh. Or I guess Sean can hear you, Adam. We can't hear Sean, except for in our hearts.
Yes.
Oh, now it's burn time. So I'm just gonna keep clipping bits of this off. Adam, you and I were talking a little bit on the weekend about lore for this universe where nobody fell to the ruinous powers except for, of course, the people we decided fell to the ruinous powers. Because, really, what are the Dark Angels without the Fallen?
They would honestly just be sneaky dudes in man dresses.
I feel like they wouldn't even be sneaky dudes, because, like...
Or sorry, not sneaky dudes, secretive dudes, because like even before the Fallen, that was like their thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Can't tell you, or else I have to murder you and your entire planet.
Hey, well, sometimes they were kind of nice about some things, maybe. Like, once or twice, they were kind of... Okay, they committed, like, a lot of genocide, but not more genocide than every other chapter.
I mean, if you want to get technical, they did do more, because a lot of the things that they first fought when the Great Crusade started off, the Emperor's like, oh yeah, these things are so evil, I need you to wipe them from existence entirely, and we're not even going to record their name or where their planet is. I just need you to get rid of it.
Well,
And they
that
did
seems
that
like...
joyously.
I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's the normal amount of murder when you're a space marine.
Yeah, I mean, they were also the first Space Marines to deploy Exterminatus.
True.
For those not in the know, which might be actually the other person watching that's not Sean,
Ooh, hi, other person.
is when they send cyclonic torpedoes into a planet, and it basically like it's the Life Eater virus is what it's called.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. So it basically like they launch it, it spreads through the atmosphere, kills every living thing, bacteria, plants, animals, everything. And then all of the dead decomposing gases turn into the fuel for it to become a giant planet-sized fuel air explosive because the virus just wasn't enough.
So, if I'm getting this right, every biological thing dies, and then afterwards lights on fire.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a freaking scary weapon. I agree with you, Sean.
Yeah. Though people have survived it, they were Space Marines and a Titan on Evestin 5, but since no one falls to chaos, that's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, here's the thing that we're sort of dancing around. Some people have to fall to chaos, right? Because the Emperor goes into the warp and he's like, okay, chaos, I'm here and I need you to leave my sons and me alone. And something happens and he leaves. And I mean, at some point in time, there has to be like chaosy stuff. Like demons happen before the Heresy, right? Like,
oh yeah. Like I think it's in not even like the Horus Heresy books, but when like they talk about like the end of the golden age of technology, or I guess it's actually the dark age of technology, because it's now seen in 40K as like what was the downfall of the human race.
We've had a few of those.
It was like the demons started showing up on planets and stuff right around the time that human psychers became very prevalent, to the point where there was like 1 in 100
Wow.
people that were born were psychers. And if there's anything I know about human psychers in 40K is if they do not have a teacher, they are just a demon summoning magnet.
Well, I mean, if I go by D&D tropes, it's entirely possible to be a demon summoning magnet with training. So, and Chaos has plenty of dudes that are like, yeah, I'm gonna just summon a bunch of lesser demons. You know, all them boys from Siege and whatnot, who are like, hey, have some pink horrors or some blue horrors. Or
also, what's that say? You want just a random mutation as a reward? No, I would like wings. You now have a bird mouth.
Well, I mean, of all of the mouth types, a bird mouth is not so bad.
I mean, but Zeech could also be like, hey, it's a bird mouth, but it's on your thigh.
Again,
Because
I could think of worse things to have coming out of your thigh. No, okay, never mind. I'm firmly not in the camp of bird thigh or bird mouth coming out of my thigh, or bird thigh coming out of my mouth. Bird thighs go in your mouth.
yeah, I mean, Chaos is just gonna give you whatever weird mutations it feels like because Chaos.
See, there's a reason they don't call it reliable loss. Eh? Eh? Eh?
So actually still kind of wish that the 5th Chaos God was still technically canon, because he was the coolest one.
Isn't he the one that they made? No, that's the Great Rat that I'm thinking of. Yeah, Chaos is exactly that. You are correct, Sean.
Yeah.
Chaos, not known for its planning and good service. You might get a cheeseburger. You might get a bird face coming out of your thigh, apparently.
Yes, because why not? Everyone needs a bird mouth on your leg for all them low-hanging bird feeders.
Sure, because that's where we place bird feeders, that thigh height. Everyone knows that. I don't know why anybody would denote it.
Yeah, that is optimum bird feeder height.
Yeah. So, okay, we have established that some people fall to chaos some
of them being, I guess, the fallen. Well, why not? And I don't know.
I feel like it really is what makes our Dark Angels the Dark Angels. Like, there's plenty before that sort of makes them, the Angels of Death and whatnot. But like, if we're really talking about 40k Dark Angels, they need to have. Yes, it was Malice.
It was Malice. Or Malal is the other one.
Yeah.
Malal. His color is the half black, half white, and he primarily only fought other Chaos gods because he was the Chaos god of order.
Okay.
Because Chaos needs a god of order, apparently.
Well, lots of people do weird things in the name of order. But our fallen friends, the ones that really... Because I feel like without that, we've just got normal knights, essentially. Like, out of all of the like lore and stuff I've read about Lionel Johnson and the chapter before the fall, like before the Heresy, they're not really all that interesting. Like, they are just an order of good guy knights, which fine, I can get behind that, I guess, but like, it doesn't seem cool. I mean, maybe we just make this guy an order of, or a dude from a really cool Night Monk sect, but I don't know. I feel like there's more that we could be doing here.
Yeah, like, I won't lie. Like many people, the Dark Angels were my first interest when I got into 40k. Of course, like when I got into 40k, the Space Wolves didn't actually have anything at that point aside from 3rd edition or late 2nd edition, 3rd edition Ragnar, and I think like the Space Wolf Sergeant back when Space Wolves still had sergeants and not pack leaders, because that wasn't until 4th edition, which is where they get cool.
That's fair.
I should say.
There we go. Palette cam that's not overly useful right now is back, sort of.
Oh,
nope.
It's green.
No, it is being just the worst. Okay, well, whatever. We have another camera on order for that, so. Yep.
Is that the one you're getting through Jamie's store, or is that the main one?
No, I'm actually replacing the main and the webcam off to the side. So the main is at some point in the future when every microchip on the planet doesn't appear to be sold out months and years in advance. Sorry, this is so I'm having to remove the butt of that guy's gun inside the inside corner of a holding his cape, which is just super fun. Ragnar was great for 3rd edition. Why are you being so hateful, Sean?
He just wasn't so good when they kept him all the way up till 8th edition.
Yeah.
Dated.
I mean, when he first came out, that was a great model for what, 95, I want to say? Maybe it was 96.
Yeah, like this, pretty much the same sculpt they'd used for every Space Marine that didn't have a bolter. Was that exact pose. Our elbows tucked into your side, gun tilted slightly to whichever hand, or like whichever direction of the hand it's in, and sword tilted whichever direction of the hand you have in.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I confuse myself explaining that.
No, everybody knows the mono pose. I mean, every Chaos Knight in Age of Sigmar has had it since Slambo. So, you know.
Yes. Unless, like, that still kind of boggles me with Age of Sigmar that we discovered on Thursday, is that the only way to get the updated Chaos Warrior minis is to buy the starter box, because they're the only unit in the starter box that you can't buy separately.
I went back and looked, and you definitely can.
You can?
Yep.
Oh, because I can only find the old Chaos Warrior regiment, the old monopose guys.
The Canadian site gets weird updates, so I swapped over to looking at some of our neighbors' stuff. Just, you can change which country you're ordering from. Yeah, it is the classic post. Yeah, I went back there. You can definitely just buy a box of them now.
I mean, like, knowing that, I might change that get starter box to the Uruk box.
That's fair.
But oh, apologies for the coughing.
That's all right.
I promise you I don't have the COVID. I'm just smoking a completely illegal substance for the country we live in.
A completely illegal substance?
Most everywhere else.
Oh, you're talking about cannabis.
Yes.
Jazz lettuce.
Left-handed cigarette. Except I'm smoking it out of a pipe.
Oh, that's fair. That is classy.
And I didn't have time to roll a joint day after work.
That's fair. We wanted to go live, and we appreciate your sacrifice. So we're getting closer and closer, and I will go in and fix this stuff up. But how I'm really gonna fix it for right now is I'm just gonna knock down. So this is just Tamiya. I don't want to dump this all over the place. Tamiya extra thin cement. The reason why I like to use this to knock down some of the fuzzies and whatnot is it just gives us an opportunity to get some, like, it'll knock down some of those really fine bits that are stuck up right now. Just because it is a melter, like the actual glue itself is acetone based, so it melts the plastic back onto itself. And I'll just paint a little bit on there. It'll melt down those really wispy bits. Hey, Sean is also enjoying some jazz cabbage. But yeah, I'll just paint it on there. You can see it's already knocked down a bunch of that stuff so I can see it better. And then we'll come back to it once it's had a chance to set in about 20 minutes. You guys will notice the thing that we ended off with last week on the stream was cutting out this little piece of paper. Well, it's tin, but it is meant to be paper. And then I took a little bit of time, started fitting it. Let's see if we can get it sort of in focus. Let's actually zoom way in on that guy. So you can see that I went and cut around his hand and scrunched it up as if he's actually holding it in a fist. but I got a little overzealous with super glue because super glue, man, that's what it do. So I got the super glue on there. There's too much of it on there, so I'm going to show everybody. I figured this was a good teaching moment. How do I get that crap back off without destroying everything around it? And then we'll go and do a little bit more work cleaning up this arm. Yeah, Adam, as far as lore goes, I think we got to keep the Fallen, because if we don't have Fallen, like, we basically don't have Dark Angels in my mind.
Yeah, we don't have anything really to essentially make them not just a generic legion, because like if we like no one else needs to follow the chaos, and like having the Fallen is kind of like that's the main part of the Dark Angels lore.
Yeah, I think it's probably the coolest part, because it also brings us fun times like Cypher and literally everybody else in the Dark Angels. So what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to decide which plastic I'm willing to sacrifice to this. So this is acetone, literally just nail polish remover. Acetone is the unbinder for cyanoacrylate glue. It also stinks, so it's also the active ingredient in Tamiya's glue. So it is in higher concentration right now, what we're using. Don't dip good brushes in this. Don't dip plastic brushes in this. You literally, I'm putting it on a cotton bud, and I'm dabbing some of it off, and I'm being real careful to just sort of touch the non-plastic bits here. So all I'm trying to do is just wet down this excess super glue that we've got on there, and I might go back for some more acetone here. We'll see. But all I'm doing is I'm just very carefully. So I did this on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday of last week. I don't know. Sometime after the stream was over, I went and glued this guy on there. So it's been there for quite a while. If you want to do this to minis you've glued to a base that you no longer want it to be on, you technically can. You have to be really careful. Like, really careful. Sean and Adam are talking in chat about sprue goo. So sprue goo is literally that same glue that I just showed you guys, the Tamiya extra thin. So this is a regular batch of it. This is what it looks like when I've taken extra bits of sprue. So just like we have on our work surface here, this is just extra bits of plastic. You drop it into the Tamiya extra thin cement until it won't melt anymore, and it works to actually fill gaps and stuff on a model. If you want a better video about sprue goo, Vince Venturella, Hobby Cheating on YouTube, has a great video about not only how to make it, but what it is good to be used for. So we will talk a little bit more about it, because I've got some more gaps and stuff to fill on this guy. But I'm gonna work fairly close to my face here. So, but we are, so you can see that it is softening that super glue. I'm no longer like bending the metal and stuff as this is happening, but it is still a pain. It's not easy. Sorry for everybody who can hear my phone going nuts. That is just how it be. Yeah. So, how did the Fallen happen, Adam? How do we want to broach that in our world here? And are more people falling all the way through to like M42, or did they stop?
You know, I actually think like having them continually like still falling, like some of them still falling, all the way up to like the current timeline. Which, yeah, I think you are correct. It is M42.
It is
The
M41
Imperial
plus
calendar-
something.
Yeah, the Imperial calendar is super weird. Like, we are in M2 right now.
Yeah.
I think ours would be M2.
We'd be M2.21.
M2.21.
413.
Yes. It is much easier to kind of figure that out other than the weird star dates of Star Trek.
Well, because
People can never really figure it.
the Star Trek star dates are from the Vulcan calendar and from First Contact. So, fun Star Trek trivia for you.
Everyone does love Star Trek trivia.
But, so, you can see it's still not flowing off. Like, I could get it to flow off if we put a ton of acetone on there. The problem is the acetone that's in this little cuppy dealy here, it's really just the lid for the nail polish remover. If I dump that all over this, it's just gonna melt the entire fist so that it looks like not a fist. We'll go with not a fist. It'll look like a lump of plastic. Then I'll have to go back and turn it back into a fist, and that will be sad and lengthy. And I do have just about all of it off there. You can see there's a little bit left on this side. There's a little bit left in this corner, but otherwise we're getting close. We've lost a little bit of detail on this hand just because I had done this a bunch, but we can go through. The plastic right now is fairly soft, so we can go through with the tip of our knife. We're just gonna add some detail, add some separation in those fingers, around his ring. And while I am using the dull side of the knife right now, really I'm just doing that to carve out some definite. And the plastic on the end of that hand is fairly soft right now. Just, it's gotten a little bit of acetone on it. So, yeah. I think it'd be cool if they were still falling.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like how they fell. Actually, I just got the idea like at the beginning of the stream when
Nice.
you mentioned like when you said like, hey, like the Emperor like bursts into like the ether or the warp, whatever you want to call it, and is like, hey, Chaos guys, I'm here. Back up, leave me and my family alone. And then Chaos being Chaos is like, we will not leave you alone, but we won't go after your sons. We'll go after your grandsons. And pick the Dark Angels because I assume we're gonna still leave Lionel Johnson as pretty moody.
Oh yeah, he was a very moody boy. Still is a very moody boy. It's just now he's sleepy and moody.
Yeah, now he's having the night terrors.
Somewhere deep under the rock. It sounds like he is currently engaged in an orgy with the rock. I would like to be deep under the rock. Are you having any chapters falling to chaos? I don't think we're gonna do full chapters. There are the 2 chapters, so I've got plans right now for the 2 chapters who were expunged from Imperial Record to still no longer exist. And otherwise, I don't think we're gonna have anybody fall other than, I think the Fallen makes sense because I like having an adversary for the Dark Angels and a reason for the Dark Angels to have, all of the cool things that they have. Because, like, there's no Deathwing without the Fallen. There's no Inquisitor Chaplains without the Fallen. There's no real reason for them to exist without the Fallen. And I hate to say that the reason we exist is to conquer our enemies, but kind of is in this form of fiction. So, I don't know.
Yeah, like, without the Fallen, the Dark Angels are just a generic Space Marine Legion who kind of dress like warrior monks. which I guess could be their thing, but that's not really enough of a thing. Like, yeah, um, the Death Guard are kind of creepy dudes, really good at trench warfare because why not? But like, you know, uh, like they have just have like from having read the one Flight of the Einstein
Hmm.
uh,
The novel.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually kind of gives you a really good insight into uh, the Death Guard beforehand.
Yeah.
Um, and they would have been seen like willful and insubordinate because essentially, like, while people had ranks and they were obeyed in combat, there was a lot of mixing of the rank and file outside of combat
That's
with
fair.
the Death Guard. Whereas, like, compare them to the Dark Angels, who, like, even before the discovery of the Primarch and then naming them from the Angels of Death to just the Dark Angels, um, they were like they were pretty rigid in
Yeah.
their command structure. Not I wouldn't say inflexible, like not so much how like the Ultramarines are portrayed now with their rigid adherence to the Codex, where even Rowboat Girly Man is like, guys, it was guideline.
Think of them as guidelines. I like that more. How do you guys feel about, oh, what about the Blood Angels ones, the black painted ones? Yeah, the uh, what are the black, it's not,
Black Rage.
the Black Rage is what they get, but there's an
They
actual
are
black
called
company.
the Death Company
There you
because
go.
they exist only for death.
Yeah.
Kind of like the greatest of all Imperial Guard for the Death.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the idea with these guys is that I still like the idea of the Inquisition and the Inquisitors, um, and all that
Unitarian
part of,
chaplains.
yeah. But I do like that inside of this chapter. Like that's always been the scariest part of Dogma for me has always been the zealots who were willing to kill their own to prove their devotion. And that's sort of getting along the lines of what we've got here is this guy. And the reason why we're talking about lore is because it helps me stay inspired when we're modeling and painting, right? Because if this guy is presenting some sort of writ or warrant for the death of a fellow space marine, it's a big deal when they're not just out murdering chaos marines all the time. And so I want him to really feel like a strong, angry, zealotous man. I'm working on pose at the same time here, so I'm sort of distracted, but what I'm wanting to do with that piece of paper, and I hope you guys can see this on stream because it's working out okay right now. So I'm taking that angle from his great coat, and just sort of mirroring that motion with the piece of paper so that it looks like when he's walking forward, we're getting that same sort of motion in the paper as well, so that it does look like he's striding forward purposefully with vengeance. Yeah, vengeance. Sure, we'll go with vengeance. Is this a vengeful dude? A spiteful dude? I don't know. What do you think,
Say
Adam?
so. I feel like because like we're having the Justicar, the Judiciar, whatever he is called,
Judiciar.
do that word,
That word. Yeah.
um, be like the executioner, like the judge, jury, and executioner for the fallen. I feel like because we're kind of creating our own lore for it, that to get that position, not only um, like you have to be a chaplain or like an interrogator chaplain who like had members of his company fall or whatever because they're the guardians of like the faith and like the mental well-being of their brothers, so it's kind of up to them to make sure like no one falls.
Ooh,
So
I
it'd be
like
cool
that.
to have like a part of the lore for the Judiciar be that like to qualify you have to have witnessed someone fall.
That's neat. And so in regular 40k lore so far, the Judiciar is they're an attachment to the chaplains. So they are an initiate. They aren't a full chaplain. But I mean, we can do whatever we want. It's our lore. So yeah, I want him to be an executioner. I like that idea. I'm keeping the broken sword motif kind of going on with the whole Death Company thing, because
Yeah, like I mean,
or Deathwing, not Death Company.
yes, yes. We're getting our death named Space Marine units confused.
Soon they
Because
will
they're-
all be Death Guard, and then Death Watch, and then Death something. I don't know. So
There's so many. One of my favorite Space Marine names actually is the Dark Reapers. They have such a neat paint scheme, if I'm remembering it correctly. I think it's like black and lime green.
is it not just Dark Reaper?
I I can't remember. I'll honestly have to go and look back at um one of the many like Space Marine Successor chapter sheets that just lists like hundreds of them. I'm really
That's
excited
fair.
that now the Carcharodons, not only are they canon, but have an official paint scheme.
Yes, I do.
now. They are
So does the chapter from Primaris, the YouTube movie. That's pretty neat, right?
oh yeah, that Games Workshop made that official canon after they like contracted that guy.
Yeah, which is cool. I'm glad that he A gets to keep putting work together, and B that he got to keep hold of the rights of that movie and actually make some money off it, which is pretty sweet. Yes, the
Yeah.
Death Boys.
The Death Boys.
No, we will not be calling them the Death Boys with an I. Death Boy. Okay. So you can see I've gone back, I've cleaned up a little bit more. I put more of the glue on there. And yeah, it looks shiny and weird. That's what we have sandpaper for. We'll get this closer and closer to the actual texture that we need as we go on. Let's work a little bit on, ooh, as I throw things everywhere. Let's work a little bit on his hand here. Just gonna do, so these are needle files for those who don't know. Sean, I'm sure you've seen a needle file before, but you never know. They come in a variety of actual coarseness. These ones that I'm using now are just my like regular ones. I do have some jeweler files around that if I really need to, I can bust out. But all I'm doing is I'm using the rod or the needle edge, the sharp edge, to redefine those fingers that we lost a little bit in the glue. So I like where we're headed with this lore. I still, I
I'm just trying to
really
jot stuff
love.
down too, so we don't forget it.
Yeah. Well, we can write it down. I will write it down somewhere.
I guess we could always listen to this again.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I did go back and re-listen to like the first one. Haven't listened to Thursdays yet.
I listened to the first one just because I did some editing for the YouTubes.
Yes. Did you leave in the 30 minutes of news silence? Where
No.
we're like, we're gonna do the news silence, and it's just you and I being super nerds about MAK.
Yeah, this is true. No, I did not leave that in, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But
Yeah. I mean, I will do a brief rundown of what we talked about last time when we get to the news, which is not yet.
not yet. We got time.
It's soon though. The news is soon.
It is soon, and I'm looking forward to the news. I've already seen it, but I'm excited to bring it to you guys. So the other part of the pre-heresy lore that I really love is Luther's, and it's not really pre-heresy either, but like as a part of the whole fallen thing, there is Luther's betrayal of Lionel and him getting all, "Meh, I'm sad that you left me on the rock to just do cool thing," or Caliban, I guess at that point, to recruit new Space Marines. I'm gonna be super mad and jealous about it. And then when you come home, finally, I'm just gonna try and blow you out of orbit because I'm sad
Yeah.
and chaos is inside of me.
Yeah, like to be able to beat Lionel Johnson or like fight him to a standstill. Um, he became like the first Space Marine.
See, he wasn't
beat
Astartes either. He is just
Luther?
no. He was too old, so everybody was like, "Nah,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
no Astartes for you." And he was like, "But I want to be Astartes." And then he did some genocides, and Lionel was all like, Lionel Johnson or L Johnson or the Line was all like, "No, you get to sit this one out now, brother." And he's like, "But I was better than you." And he's like, "No, you never were." And so he has to go back to Caliban to recruit people, and all throughout the Heresy, he just got left there. And so, as Lionel Johnson traveled through the galaxy, destroying literally all of the heretics' homeworlds, his homeworld was being converted into a shithole / fortress that tried to kill him when he came home. And then they battled for a long time, and it was sweet. And I like the idea of like the weird father-son relationship causing the galaxy's drama.
Yes. I really like that. While I don't know a lot about Luther, obviously, I mean, I thought he was a Space Marine.
Well, he's almost a Space Marine. Like, he got everything short of a gene seed.
Yeah. I do like that their battle was so titanic that it did destroy the planet, and that is like the largest chunk is what they turned into the rock,
Yeah.
which is now their fortress monastery. I actually think the rock might be bigger than the Dark Angels one. Or not the Dark Angels, the Imperial Fist. They also have a giant space fortress, but that was like they had that even like during the Great Crusade. Like that was their thing. But it might have been destroyed during the Siege of Terra. I don't quite remember.
I honestly haven't gotten into Imperial Fist lore yet. I got into Perturabo and Sanguinius, or not Sanguinius. What's his name?
Demon?
Nope. The
Dawn?
Imperial Fists and
Dorn.
Dorn.
Oh,
Yes,
Turbo.
thank you. Yes. Their fight and giant fortress making / breaking contests. So earlier, Sean, you were asking or commenting about Sprugu. This is just me. I'm applying a little bit more because I've got a gap just up the top of that shoulder pad there. And you can see I'm being conservative about it, but I'm just dropping little drips on there. That is too thick right now. So I'm just gonna, well, it's still molten-y. You can also just drop regular old plastic cement on there and move it around a little bit too. So you can see it flows pretty easily. And this is one of my favorite weird techniques that you would never run across until you accidentally do it one day, or you watch way too much YouTube. I don't know who watches that much YouTube. It's me. I looked up my YouTube stats accidentally once. I watch about 20 hours of YouTube a day. So, yep. I don't actively watch it the whole time, but yeah. So Luther, the whole story, Sean. So Luther was the guy who found Lionel Johnson when he was just a wee baby. And so when he was a wee kid, he was like, no, don't murder that guy, because the hunters of Caliban were like, look, it's a baby, murder it. He was like a man. He wasn't a baby, but it's
He
funnier
was, like,
when it's a baby.
technically a 10-year-old that was the size of like a 20-year-old.
Sure. Actually, I know you're correct. I don't know why I was being so flippant, but yeah, when they found him, they were like, murder him. He clearly is some sort of demon because he survived being out here by himself. And Luther was like, nah, he's my baby boy now. And so he took him back and taught him all about being the greatest. And so he was the greatest. And then they got in a fight. Or sorry, the Emperor shows up, the Big E himself, and is like, hey, you're the specialist of boys, except for I've already found like 11 of your brothers. Here's the first company, or the first chapter. They're called the Dark Angels now. Go out and do stuff. And when all that happened, Lionel Johnson took Luther and he's like, listen, dude, even though you are too old to receive the gene seed, we're going to do everything you can so that we can remain best of friends throughout all of time. And they did. They were good friends until Lionel Johnson left Luther in charge of something. And I don't really remember what it was, but he messed it up badly enough that Lionel Johnson was like, yeah, maybe you aren't so good at this. Go back to Caliban. And he was like, but I'm a space marine. And he's like, no, you're not. Go back to Caliban, recruit actual space marines. Nobody likes you anymore. And he was like, oh, sad. And by sad, I mean, he got really angry and jealous of all the space marines because even though he used to be the like big badass head honcho on Caliban, he no longer was. So now, you know, he was all by himself, no longer a big badass, and instead was just sent to like hang out at home, got sad, and fell to chaos, basically.
You know who was also always left at home but never got sad or angry or resentful about it? The Lord Cypher.
Ooh, yeah. Hey, did you know that he's actually like the second or third Cypher? The current one I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's suspected but not confirmed to be Zariel El Zerarius.
Neat.
Who was promoted to that by Luther after Luther's exile back to Caliban. But the cool thing about Cypher is I love how they're just kind of like, yeah, here's like 6 different possible actual things that Cypher does. We will only confirm that, yes, while he does at times fight against the Empire, strange enough, the Empire always comes out stronger at the end of the battle. Kind of like he's pretending to be a bad guy just to mess with their stuff.
My favorite was there's a story about Cypher where, I don't know, for some reason he shows up and he's like, hey, Lehman Russ, I want to go talk to the Big E. And Lehman's like, no, you can't talk to the Emperor. We're feeding him his 1,000 souls a minute in order to stay alive. And he's like, no, I'm going in there. You guys can arrest me afterwards. Here's all the bad things I've done. And they're like, oh, wait, we can arrest you? And he's like, yeah, I'll totally do it. Like, you can put the cuffs on me now. Everybody can watch while I'm going in, and you guys can have 1,000 custodes poke me in the back with, like, sharpened sticks. And so they do it. And he goes and has a meeting with the Emperor, comes out, Lehman puts him in prison, and then, like, 20 minutes later, he's gone. Because that's what Cypher do. There was like an entire company that was supposed to be watching him, and he was like, nah, I'm out. And they just lose him because Cypher, which is great. Also, take that, Space Wolves.
Hey, at least all of the old Space Wolves did become Space Marines,
Yeah, I guess.
oddly enough.
So, okay. Do we want to have Cypher in our new... I feel like that's a cool part of the lore that we can keep going with.
Yeah, I think like I would like to keep Cypher because not only is he both of his sculpts, his original sculpt and his new sculpt, not only are they amazing um miniatures, he's a um really cool character. And like I like his whole thing where like, oh, what's his job? Oh, he knows all of the secrets. He knows where everybody's skeletons or like bodies are buried. He knows all the skeletons in the closet. That's the dude's literal job, is to know everyone's secrets.
Yeah, I do love
there's-
this new model. So, as a part of building and painting these models, I got a whole bunch of these, which are the bottoms of a cloche, that we're going to be using to set up as scenic bases for these guys. And yeah, that I was originally thinking, like, why don't we have this guy confronting one of the Fallen? But what if we had him confronting Cypher instead?
Oh, that would be cool because I mean, Cypher is seen to be in like current 40k lore is seen to be the leader of all of the Fallen. Most of the times, Fallen are found like on their own, or like when they are seen in groups, Cypher is almost always there leading them.
Hmm.
But with that tasty little tidbit to ponder on, we are actually overdue for the news.
Oh boy.
By 2 minutes.
It is time for the news, everybody. At some point in time, we should actually make news.
Yes.
Music.
A news jingle. News tune. I don't know. But just to kind of briefly...
Music.
Yes.
No, we're not going with music as the music that enters the news.
The news intro music?
Exactly. Music.
Music.
Now it's just gonna be me singing the word music. So what have we got here first?
First, we have Verge of War. It is a new up-and-coming sci-fi tabletop war game. I don't know a whole lot about it, but what I'm reading is really cool. It seems like they actually have a part on their site that you go to, and you post your battle reports, and it can become part of actual canon.
Neat.
And help direct the story.
That reminds me of the Fall of Cadia.
Yeah, also kinda how Old Hammer died.
So I'm just looking at the website right now. So yeah, there is just IFS beta testing season results, so you can see what people were playing for lists, what factions they were, winning percentages, most of the things that you would see from a pretty regular like tournament report from 40k or AOS. So that's neat. That's cool.
Yeah. That, and like if you look at some of their minis, like I just opened up the Forces of Humanity one, and they are so nice. They're all like you know, single cast, big deal. But they look so cool.
Oh, it says Space Pirates, and that's one version away from my favorite aesthetic, which is Air Pirates. But let's take a look at these guys. Oh boy. Oh,
Space Pirates have space sharks.
They do. Oh boy. Okay. Well, if I hadn't already decided that all of my money was going somewhere else, both new gear for the straight, as well as a secret project that I'm going to start working on here. Oh boy. There is a Space Cthulhu. Anyway, All right. No, that's really cool, man. I am
Yeah.
digging this sculpt. So I will
Oh,
I
and
will get into this
he's
more.
the shark. So because he's a shark orc.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Boat.
said okay. All right.
Yeah, I like what they did there. Clever, clever.
Clever and yeah, no, this is actually really cool. All right. That is
Yeah,
Vergivore. You guys can read more about them on your own. If you head down to the description, you can see it. There's a link there for Vergivore. I need to spend more time. I just sort of went through and was like, oh, 4 factions. That seems like, or 5 factions. That seems like enough factions for me to pay attention to this, because that was part of the problem I continue to have with Star Wars Legion is there are 2 factions and they're both boring now. So yeah. What
Well,
else
I
have we
thought
got,
Star Wars
Adam?
minis. I've checked out every one of the factions on here, and
Oh yeah,
there's creepy space dinosaurs and more sharks.
space elves, Egyptian
elves.
space elves. So yeah.
Yeah. But
Ooh.
moving on to our next topic here.
Oh yeah.
You guys go down. It is googly eye dice, and it's not just googly eye dice. Like, it seems like they will literally put anything in the dice. If you go to their website and not just their Kickstarter,
Yeah.
they got like little rubber duckies in the dice.
So I went above and beyond, went and found the website because I needed to. And if you guys look at stream right now, there is dice with scrolls inside them. I am Knighted Dice Golem. Like, I don't really care about dice that often, but these have scrolls inside of them. As a wizard, they have scrolls inside of them. But yes, they do also have a Kickstarter that is about to launch, if I remember correctly.
I just had the Kickstarter open.
For the googly-eyed dice, right?
They open the Kickstarter launches in 17 days, and they already have just over 32,000 Canadian.
Oh wow, yeah. So, I will also. Oh, well, let's go check out the Kickstarter because that's what originally brought us here. But, yeah, there you go. Dice full of googly eyes. Cause
Yeah, like I not only will be getting a set of googly eye dice, I will definitely be getting a set of rubber ducky dice.
that's fair. That is fair. What are the stretch goals on? Oh, okay. Other colors. Okay. Okay. Oh wow. Next stretch goal is Cyclop. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's cool. You can head on Kickstarter / projects like the Evergreen Burrow / Googly Eye Dice. Whatever. You guys can see it in the link. Just go to the link. Go to the evergreenburrow.com. Head over to their Kickstarter. Check it out. Actually, $28 for a set of polyhedral dice. Not a bad price. What else do you got?
Next is actually a universe you and I are both familiar with. The Corvus Belli Infinity universe. You and I, we did have a bit of a sour experience with the role-playing game, but to be fair, we were trying to adapt it to something it wasn't meant to be used for.
Yep.
Because that's how we do.
Yep.
But these are their upcoming May releases.
Yeah. So.
And while we are not quite a fan of the role-playing game, they have some of the nicest minis around.
Yeah. And these are definitely minis that I always come back to. These guys, so Corvus Belli for a long time used to use Angel Heraldez as their in-house painter, and man, that man can paint. If you want to check him out, he does Spanish language painting tutorials on YouTube. Man, go ahead, check Angel out. Anyway, continue on. We've got Chaska Longarms on screen right now, which was my favorite of the bunch that they had announced for May.
Yeah, I did. I was also a fan of the. So if everyone just like clicks on miniatures, the first miniatures you'll see will be the. Oh wait, where's the new one?
Yeah, the May releases have been both on and off the website in the last little bit, so
Yeah.
you can see at least on stream right now. Some of the new ones are up there: the new O12 box, the new Eugene box, the Nicole box, and the Pan Oceania box that are coming out. All those look real cool.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love Pan
actually a real
Oceania.
big fan of the Nyoka
Yeah,
box. Honestly, like, not a huge fan of the sculpts, but I really, really like that paint job.
yeah, man. Those paint jobs are magic. If you ever, as I say, if you have other YouTube channels you want to enjoy other than ours, it's a good one to head over and watch. As long as you're okay with translating stuff from Spanish to English, I guess. Watch Angel. He doesn't normally paint this stuff, but as in like on stream, but he does actually do all the in-house painting for Corvus Belli. So it's cool.
Yeah, and you guys can see the Corpus Belli store link. They also have like a separate website for just their lore for the Infinity Universe.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really neat universe. It's got really cool lore.
And
Again, like they like some of the nicest minis around.
yeah, and for those who haven't played Infinity, it is a really, really deep and rich squad-based combat game. It is punishingly tactical, but still really fun. I've managed to play a game of it in my life and found it to be great. And I love the models, and the lore is pretty cool, like really cool actually. So much more cogent than 40K.
Yeah, they do not have tomes of retcon material that are somehow also still canon yet being retconned. It depends on, I don't know, how Games Workshop feels that edition, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Well,
All right.
we talked some hate on Games Workshop. We do love them. They do have the nicest multi-part mini kits around.
This is true.
This
is true.
Would be Warlord, because their stuff is quite good. I just wish they put out more K47, so the stuff I follow on their Facebook page would actually come out.
Well, manufacturing minis is a big process, and I think we can all appreciate that Games Workshop is somewhere around a year behind on the releases right now. So it's just one of those things that the pandemic hits everybody differently, and Games Workshop is giant in comparison to like Warlord Games. So if GW is a year behind, I guess everybody can be a little behind right now. What else have we got in the news, Adam?
All right, the next one is one of my favorite tropes of sci-fi is giant shooty robots.
Ooh.
This is another Kickstarter. Very simple name. It is literally Cyber Library of 3D models. That's the Kickstarter name.
Hey, they already hit their goal a dozen times over now. That's great.
Yeah.
Go, guys.
Well, like these aren't actual minis you buy. You are just buying the STL file, so you do need access to a 3D printer.
I got one of those.
You got one of those. But like honestly, I really like how these mecha came out. Like they're detailed. They look like very rugged looking. They're not smooth or they don't look graceful by any means. Well, kind of maybe the spider one. The flying one is hilarious because it just has helicopter blades on it.
We can go on a rant later about how blades like that don't work on other planets. At least not looking like that, and not every planet. Anyway, continue.
There is, there are times where I get you're looking at the one I was talking about is on stream now. Some of them are very Metal Gear, or not Metal Gear, BattleTech or MechWarrior esque. which I don't mind. That is my favorite sci-fi universe. But like they don't just have the mecha. They do have scenery, so you can 3D print a whole ruined building. Um, and they have mecha that look like, some more ones that'd be like current times, and then like some older ones that you could have as like the first ones and all that.
That's cool. There is definitely a walker in here like an exosuit that looks like it's out of the Matrix. So, yeah.
Yeah. They got all sorts of vehicles, like land vehicles, different flyers. One of my personal favorites is actually the hover hot rod rat rod,
Huh.
because it looks ridiculous and it's also amazing.
Okay, we're into that sort of zone here as I scroll through.
Yeah, it is after some of the colored photos. Where is it here? Oh, there's a cool sci-fi looking Blackbird mini, and kind of want it.
There is a just enormous amount of stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah, for like the pledge starts at, he has it set at like $10. I think then you pay like 50 cents per file.
Huh.
After that, if it was already, yeah, you are getting close to the hover hot rod rat rod. Like think of like a rat rod and a pod racer had like some freaky love going on, and this was the result of it.
All right. That is very unique. It still has what looks like back tires, but definitely aren't. That is something. All right. I will give it to him. I feel like I could rust that up and put an orc boy in there, and it would feel right at home.
Yeah, like there's for
It just keeps going. There is so much in this Kickstarter.
I am only halfway through, and I just got to a giant ruined apartment block.
Yep. Watchtowers, more scenery,
Oh,
scenery.
another ruined apartment block.
Wow. Okay.
Different. Yeah, like there is. Hey, that mech has actually got hands in this holding a gun. Neat.
All right. Well, again, this is Cyber Library of 3D models. That is just an insane amount of stuff. Looks like it starts off at $37 Canadian for an actual pledge. You can get it. You guys can go over there and see what else is in there. It is a just crazy amount of stuff. So again, that is, Cyber Library of 3D prints. So go ahead and check out the Kickstarter. That is crazy. It just keeps going.
Like
I'm only 3/4 of the way down.
I'm literally at a.
There are weapons. Just weapons.
I'm at the robot T-Rex.
Right? We clearly we needed.
I don't know what that thing is, but it's scary and I want it.
I can't keep scrolling through this. I will never actually accomplish any hobby if I keep watching this. Okay, let's get back to our live scene. All right, let's go. Wow.
And for those that, I guess everyone that was on stream last time missed last week's Tuesday Sci-Fi News. A little brief rundown as we talked about Machine Krieger in 15mm that has free rules that are being updated currently, and you can just, they basically, like, the author gives everyone access to like the Google Drive for the rules. What else did we talk? We talked about Necromunda Hired Gun, gonna be the
next game out from Games Workshop.
Yeah, and also only their second first-person shooter.
Which surprises me, but it also doesn't.
The other one was the very overlooked Fire Warrior game on the PlayStation 2, which I played and beat, and it was really good.
Nice. I gotta say, my extent of my Games Workshop computer game, video game playing has been Dawn of War, and then I have played about 50-60 hours of Blood Bowl now. Too many hours of Blood Bowl. It is great. I love it. Computer's a lousy, cheating piece of crap, and I love it.
See, I've played Fire Warrior, which was the first one. Played Space Marine, um, which was the first game of a planned trilogy of games, and then I will not mention the company, but someone got their meddling hands on it, and like most media that they actually try to force and get too involved in, it was garbage.
Are we
The game
are we
itself is-
talking about EA?
No, I'm talking about Games Workshop and their meddling in video games.
Oh, well, yeah. No.
A lot of the 40K games, they have... Sorry, the Space Marine game, they changed the planned idea for the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
They took out a couple other things from the actual campaign. Like apparently, like you were supposed to be able to like get like a power sword in the campaign. They're like, oh no, we want that to be only for the online. And unfortunately, that the game developer, I can't quite recall. Sean might actually remember, or he could go look if he has his copy of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine handy. But that was one of the last games they put out. It is credited as the game that killed that game dev.
That sucks.
Sad. It's actually a really fun game. You're playing it like essentially a story-esque Space Marine where it's you against an orc wog.
Well, that sounds like Lord Space Marines.
Yep. And then what else? I've played the first two Dawns of War.
Yep.
But no expansions for the second one. But I've played and own all of the expansions for the first one. I played a bit of Old Hammer Total War. I played a bit of the first one, not very much. It was real hard, and I don't like real hard games to make me mad. It was Relic.
This is why I play Blood Bowl, because when I start losing, I'm just like, this game cheats, and I quit.
Yes.
Because I'm a poor loser. Also, it's a single player campaign, and if you lose the Relic Entertainment, thank you, Sean. If you lose in the single player campaign, you just have to restart anyway. So when you're gonna lose, you just quit because it saves you 20 minutes before you have to do the reset anyway.
I've played Necromunda Underhive Wars. That is actually like an XCOM-esque tactical like RTS game.
Yep.
Hard. It is really hard.
That's fair. XCOM is also really hard and cheats. You have a 96% chance of making this shot. You miss.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's only got a 10% shot to hit you. Oh man. Not only was it hit, it was also a critical. What? That's not fair.
Quits game. Launches into the sun.
Vermintide 2, which is...
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, it's very fun, but it's a very easy game to get game burnout on, because essentially every level is the same. Kill all of the Skaven, get from point A to point B. That is it.
Isn't there a new Vermintide coming out like right away here? I know Blood Bowl Season 3 is the next one after. And then we are, I believe, into... I think we're into Vermintide. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about a Vermintide 3. I do know they're doing a new Warhammer Total War is coming out.
Yep. I think that's the end of this year, though. I could be wrong.
I think it's... If JP's watching, he could probably tell us because he loves those games.
That's fair. They're lovely games.
I actually haven't played it. Well, I played the first one, and it was tricky.
I love Total War games, so...
I didn't understand it at first.
That's fair.
If I went back now, I'd probably still be really bad at it.
There's a where he did cheese it real bad, but I'm not going to divulge that here. If you want to go watch people cheese that game, there are plenty of YouTube videos of people cheesing Total War 1 and 2.
I mean, they are by no means the hardest RTS games I've played. I still leave that to Star Wars Galaxy at War. I couldn't even pass the tutorial.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I'm just gonna be
Some
here huffing glue.
usually make fun of me for that, but despite that game being really hard, Star Wars Galaxy at War or Empire at War.
Empire at War. It was Star
Yeah.
Wars Galaxies and Empire at War.
Yes. Still so good. I think I still have it installed on my computer, even though I don't play it very often.
That's fair. That's fair.
Star Wars.
Just checking in with our model. We're now to the place where I'm gonna start really refining shape. So now that we've basically got everything assembled, we're missing a bit, and we can bring this right up to the lens. You can see that's butchery. There's not a great amount of detail that I managed to leave there. So we're gonna cover it over with other crap. Like, he's gonna have a big book or something that goes here. We can find another pouch that goes beside that there. I don't need to spend the next 4 years scraping away at this little corner to make it nice. We will put something else on there. If I've learned anything from Adam Savage, it's that you can cover literally all your crimes with Greeblies and it'll be fine. So we'll find some bits to stick on them in there. I still want to work refining a little bit of the shapes here that are still a little rough, but we're getting pretty close to being able to put primer on this guy. So we've got a couple of things that we're going to do when we come back, but I think I'm going to call it right now because I need to pee real bad. We will be back in about 5-ish minutes. So keep hanging on, everyone. We'll be back in 5. Sorry, I really do need to pee. I will be back. Adam, you back? Cool. Shall we resume? Oh man, there is like a half-second delay on my mic now, and it is messing me up so bad. So very badly. Yeah. So now I sound like I have a stutter in my own head. Woo! Alright. Yeah, let's go live in 3, 2, and... Oops. Hey, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. If you like what you're watching, we would really appreciate it if you would like or subscribe or tell a friend what we're doing here. Because, yeah, it's just one of those things. We're still trying to grow the channel. And as a part of growing the channel, we are going to do our first giveaway when we get to 100 followers. I've got a $25 gift certificate for, what's it called? Games Workshop. Those guys that we sometimes badmouth and other times say they're really great because they're both at the same time. So we've got stickers. We've got one for Project Never Fallen, one for Orkland Raiders, and one for our stream that comes up for the first time on Thursday. It is going to be the new Helmgard Giants, our dwarf Blood Bowl team. And so you get the stickers, all of the stickers, and you get a $25 gift certificate. Hey V, yes, we are giant nerds. Thank you. Thank you very much. So all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and you will be entered in for the giveaway. So that's a $25 gift certificate as well as stickers for the channel. So yeah, as we head towards 100, like, subscribe, tell a friend. We would love it. All right. So we're back on our little dude here. You can see he's now missing a gun. And I'm going to show you how we deal with all this crap. Well, Adam and I talk about nerdy things. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing good. I'm eating my, you know, a quite lovely breakfast scramble that was provided to me by Jamie, also accompanied by a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, ooh, chocolate chip cookie.
About new things, and I have freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. This is like the best Tuesday.
Ooh, stinkers. Yeah. Oh man, I made cinnamon buns that aren't cinnamon buns on the weekend, and they're okay. They're not the greatest, but so they have lemon poppy seed inside of them, so it's pretty cool. They worked out not bad. Yeah, for trying something completely new. So as you guys can see on the model here, I'm just gonna go around right now, and I'm using 1500 grit sandpaper. I dipped it in a little bit of water. Yeah, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Ring the stupid bell so that you actually get notified when we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 Pacific, 8 o'clock in the Eastern time zone. And I have no idea what that is in UTC, but yeah. So we're going to be doing some sanding. It's super fun wet sanding time to really finish off all these nice little blends and stuff. And I hate to be that guy. This is not the end of our sanding. It's sanding never ends. But also, we're probably going to come back and do some more sanding once we've got primer on the model. Just because primer shows me how bad I am at this part of the hobby. That's what it's for. It's not to make paint stick on. It's to show me that I'm really bad at this and that I've left giant gaps in places and all the rest. So that's what primer's for. Also, so that we can see the helmet. Smash the like button like it's your prom date. Inapprops, V. Inapprops. Actually, totally approps. But, oh man. So how's that cookie working out for you, Adam? I'm jealous.
It's really good. I mean, Jamie is a fantastic For someone who actually doesn't enjoy baked goods all that.
I'm not huge into sweets either, but I do like making food, so I can appreciate and understand where that's coming from.
I definitely have a sweet tooth, but I mean, I love to cook.
I loved cooking too. I always found it weird. So I was in home ec in like junior high school or whatever, and for people who aren't from this part of the world, it's home economics where they teach you nothing about economics and entirely sewing and cooking and stuff. It was great. Uh, my buddy and I were in home ec when we were in junior high, and we spent long before this was like 1997, 98. We spent a good deal of effort making sure that there was bacon in everything that we cooked that year, which was a real struggle when it came to like muffins and soup. And there was like a half dozen things that we had to make that year, and we just made sure that everything we made had bacon in it because, yep, that was our goal. And our home ec teacher was like, that's unhealthy, right? And we're like, whatever, it's bacon, delicious. So
Bacon is delicious.
bacon is delicious, but that did also spark my lifelong love of making my own food because I found out, oh, if I make the food, I can literally put bacon in everything. So, and it continues to today.
Having eaten a lot of the various food you've made, I can attest. There's bacon in a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of cooled it since then, but never gonna get rid of all the bacon from things. Hey, I got a question for everybody. Ooh, bacon cookies are next on my list for you, Steve. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, thank you, Jamie. I will try to make bacon cookies. That seems... Or are you making me bacon cookies, Jamie? Because I would appreciate that. So, we got partway into our lore talks as we were talking about our Dark Angels. We kind of got to... We still want the Fallen to be around. We like the idea of Luther and or Cypher being a part of this.
I like having them both. So like, Luther kind of still kicking it all off.
Okay. Because I think
because like, dude's
go ahead.
literal name, his name defines what he is, which is super annoying.
Well, it's also a title. It's like James Bond isn't the James Bond conspiracy that James Bond isn't actually the name of the secret agent. It's a title that you get when you become 007.
I've never heard that before, but you know what? I can get behind that.
Well, if you think about it, it sort of makes sense, right? Like all of them are James Bond. Smash that like button like a redheaded stepchild. Oh god, chat. Come on. No, so in the context of James Bond, the idea that James Bond is the title that you inherit instead in Casino Royale and the remake, she only refers to him. M only refers to Daniel Craig, James Bond, before he becomes a 00 and has 2 confirmed kills as nothing. Like she doesn't even give him a name, and then later on in the movie starts referring to him as James. And there's nothing when he goes to Skyfall that says Bond on it. And if you think that like all of these actors who've taken on the role of James Bond are the new secret agents who've taken on the moniker of James Bond, it makes for a cool kind of loose canon. I mean, it's not confirmed or anything, but like it was one of those internet theories that went around that James Bond is a title, not a name.
I like it.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to work around the model, taking care of some of these fine details. Again, in big open swaths like on this cape, I'm definitely going to put, or great coat. I'm going to put in a lot of effort to make sure it's absolutely smooth again, because that it's a giant smooth spot. If there's weird texture and stuff like that, it's going to show all the way through our paint. Oh, thanks, Sean. I like it. It's one of my favorite fan theories. And I mean, it happens to other, like, in other lore, like, at one point in time, Dick Grayson gives up, or not Dick Grayson, one of the Robins becomes Batman when Batman's like, nah, I'm too old at the beginning of The Dark Knight Returns.
That is Damian Wayne?
Is it Damian? I feel like Damian was only around for Death in the Family. Maybe I'm wrong.
Though it could have also been Jason Todd post evil Red Hood, more Batman has a leash on him, Red Hood.
He's Azrael. Is that? No, Nightwing is what Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing and stays Nightwing. But I think that whoever Azrael was is the one who takes over as Batman. And I think you're right, Adam. I think that might have been Damian Wayne. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. So.
The nice thing is, we have Google answer these questions.
And is somebody Googling?
I am.
Oh, nice. All right. That's why I have a co-host, everybody. Well, yeah. Host plus? You're not really a co-host. I feel like you're more than that. Hetero life partner?
Huh.
I don't know if it came... Oh, you got a huh. What's the huh?
Yeah, it's Dick Grayson.
Oh, there you go.
Takes over as Dick Grayson, and Tim Drake takes on the moniker of Red Robin.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I forgot about Tim Drake. It was a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of...
I don't know.
For a bit.
Batman goes through a lot of Robins. We shouldn't have to be,
Was he after Jason?
He was after Jason, because Jason goes and bees Red Hood, and then out of canon.
The Joker beats him with a crowbar and then blows him up.
Yeah, well, I did love that comic series, and now I'm forgetting what it's called. It's not Long Halloween. It's not The Man Who Laughs. It's not Dark Knight. At any rate, I did love... And then they made the movie of it, and the movie's actually really good too. Like, it's just an animated DC animated movie, but that seems to be DC's best movies, is the animated ones.
100%.
100p. So again, I'm just going around taking care of some of the bits that are a little not so great. On the shoulder pad, you can see I'm just trying to get a nice flat finish around our marking there. And we'll sharpen up some of the detail on the sword here too. This is a really old shoulder pad. So, Adam, do you know when this bit was originally made? Because I looked it up.
The Deathwing bit?
It's not even a Deathwing bit. This is actually a bit from the well, it is a booster, I can tell you that. Not to 40k. Can you name the game that this is even from?
Is it from Hero Quest?
Nope. It is a box game from GW though, so you're on the right path. So there was
I'm not really up on their box games.
so Rogue Trader came up first. Yes, there was one with a girl Robin. That is The Dark Knight Returns, which is my favorite Batman because Batman beats Superman in it, and everyone should beat Superman like a red-headed stepchild.
Sean says the camera is blurry.
Camera's always blurry. How about now? We good? We better? It's always gonna have a little trouble. It's got a pretty, like, we've got a pretty wide depth of focus, and the autofocus is pretty good at tracking, but I apologize. It will go in and out every once in a while. That's just sort of dealing with the lens that we're on, so. Which I appreciate, because V, who's in chat, is very graciously letting me use her camera until my camera actually gets built and sent to me, which is cool, I guess. It's not really, but I mean, it's super cool that she is letting me use it. It's less cool that it has been like 4 months and I still don't have my camera. Okay, thank you for confirming, V, that it looks cool.
So, Sean actually confirmed for me. It was the shoulder pad that was blurry, not actually the picture.
Oh.
He couldn't get a good look at what it was. And that's
So,
just quick text what it was.
This is 2 different shoulder pads glued together, actually, so that might give some help. Just look at the middle part, pretend the sword wasn't broken before, and it is an old GW box game. If you guys can guess it in the next 5 minutes before I get bored of this game, I'll tell you what it was, or what the game was.
What era of GW?
Very early.
Very early. Okay. I can work with very early.
Yeah.
I don't like. I miss the Games Workshop site from when I got into the hobby. That like every faction's lore was on site, but most of that lore can now actually be found at Lexicanum.
Yeah, I have literally never lived in that world. I started hobbying, or this hobby in particular, later in life because my parents, rightly, were like, no, you shouldn't get into this. And now that I'm an adult, they can't stop me. So I can spend all my money on tiny toy soldiers. So, suck it, Mom and Dad!
Yeah, I will tell no one the amount I have invested in tiny plastic.
So I have been looking at my secret project, and
you lean back a bit and move the mini to the left.
Listen, the mini moves, all right? The mini moves.
We can also see the back of your head.
Listen, the back of my head is glorious, all right?
I'm not saying it's not, but it was also obscuring the mini.
Listen, if you don't want to watch gratuitous back of head shots, you can go and watch a better populated stream. Okay, now, thank you for the feedback, Sean.
From Ruin Quest?
Nope.
Oh.
Think 40K.
Think 40K.
Yeah. It is an upgrade sprue to a very early Games Workshop box.
Oh, is it from the original Space Hulk?
Yep. So.
Yeah, because they were...
The original Space Hulk had Blood Angels in it, but you could get an upgrade that came out like 8 months later that had Terminators that were from the Deathwing in it before the Deathwing was even a part of anything because it was before all that stuff even started. So, yeah, that's how old this particular shoulder pad bit is that I found on the internet. So, it's neat. Yeah. Fun stuff. So, again, I'm back on the shoulder pad. I got just, you can see there's little tiny bits of white, like overly fluffy plastic. I'm never gonna get that with my knife. I'm just gonna make more gouges. So rather than trying to gouge at this, we're using the glue to just smooth it out. And then we'll come back afterwards, fill it in with maybe some plastic putty. We'll see. We'll see how we feel in 10 to 15 minutes when this stuff is dried again. So again, just little bits of glue, running it in there. I can give it a little pressure if I want, but it's not going to close that stuff right now. So we'll just let it go. Don't put your fingers in it when it is wet. That is a very good way to ruin minis. So once you put the glue on, just leave it alone. Give it 10, 15 minutes, let it dry.
Sean is correct. We actually converted the Blood Angels, not from the original Space Hulk, but from the reissue one into, I want to say Space Wolf, Wolfguard, and Terminator armor, but I could be wrong. They might have actually been converted into Imperial Fist.
That's fair. So aside from everything else I've been doing, he confirms Imperial Fist. So aside from that sort of side of the hobby, I've been looking for a piece of my childhood again. I'm trying to find, and if anybody finds one for less than about $200 anywhere on the internet, I will take an original Hero Quest. I don't even care. I'll take a reprint. If somebody has the lowdown on where Hero Quest went, I would love to get my hands on it because everybody I watch on Instagram is repainting those minis, and I played a lot of Hero Quest as a kid, and yeah, I played Hero Quest before I played D&D, so that's how long it's been. I think it was like maybe 5 or 6 when I played my first game of Hero Quest, so I would love to have those minis again so that I could actually paint them this time and do a better job. I'll get my head out of the way. I'm sorry. It keeps invading. It wants to be on camera. I'll never put my face on there, but my head, sure, why not? You guys can all stare at my glorious COVID locks.
I just got a haircut. It was glorious.
Wow.
No more hippie hair for me.
Well, now I feel even more like a degenerate. I don't. Not even a little bit. I do what I want.
Yeah. I was with my job having long hair. While not a detriment, it's just really annoying when it's constantly in my face.
Yeah. My hair is now to the length where at least once a day I'm eating my hair in unintentionally. Which I've been here before. This time it's not a mohawk, but I've been here before.
Yeah.
Adam, what do we think about filling in our Terminus Ultramare on the blade here?
I'm feeling that. I don't mind the Terminus, but definitely don't want the Ultramare on there, because as much as I don't like the Dark Angels, but that's just comes from like being a Space Wolf player.
You mean you don't like their every time we meet we have a ceremonial battle?
Yes.
Even if we're in a battle right now?
I think the only other Loyalist chapter that I could say I dislike more is the Ultramarine.
Well, everyone hates the Smurfs except for GW.
The Ultramarines 4th Company has always been like the doofy little brother to the rest of the Ultramarines, because their captain always gets into so much trouble. Two of them in canon get into so much trouble.
As a doofy little brother myself, I think I've found my chapter. No, I'm just kidding. The Ultramarines are the worst.
I would probably like them more if everything wasn't always just Ultramarines.
You mean that the heroes of the Imperium and the only ones who got their Primarch back aren't your favorite?
No.
Oh, well. You know what? We could have Lionel Johnson be back in our lore. I mean, it's not going to change his model, really. But there's nothing saying that in our... He woke up from under the rock. Because, you know, him and Luther had their fight, and he's just sleeping under there. I mean, he received a mortal wound from a weird blast from a chaos god through Luther, but he's alive. Like, all of the canon right now says he's alive, so why wouldn't we just make him come back to life? That's our lore.
They brought back Robo, who was functionally dead.
Oh yeah.
When they put him in stasis, and being poisoned by, I believe it was Fulgrim, a weird, sexy Slaanesh poison.
Ooh. Now I'm hot and bothered.
Right? I mean,
was it a sexy poison?
More hot than a half-man four-arm snake prince.
I'm into it. Tell me more.
Yeah, so until apparently, well, of course they brought back Robo Girly Man because he's an Ultramarine. He's Chief Ultramarine. But then I love that the first thing he does is like, you guys, it was just guidelines. Do not take this as like religious doctrine for how to fight a war.
Well,
oh my god, you've been doing that for 10,000 years and it's worked? Well, okay, but still, stop it.
But still, stop.
Don't. I mean, some of my favorite chapters, aside from the Space Wolves, are... One of them actually is a Ultramarine successor chapter, the Iron Snakes. They completely flout the flout the codex. They don't use it like at all.
Nice. Sorry, I'm sorting through my box to find my gray stuff or green stuff. Really, any sort of stuff that we can use to fill in that sort. Hang on. Continue to tell me about the Iron Snakes.
But the way they fight in like the ancient Greek first 300 level shield wall, where like 100 Space Marines of the Iron Snakes chapter turned an entire wall. That kind of legendary type stuff. But they're an Ultramarine descendant chapter supposedly. But yeah, they don't use the
Codex Astartes?
Nope, they're like, cool, guidelines. We're gonna fight in 10-man squad, and every 10-man squad is gonna be made up of is gonna have one heavy weapon, and then instead of an assault weapon, we're gonna give them all apothecary.
Alright.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Well, why would you want to heal your incredibly expensive genetic super soldier that requires like thousands of surgeries and like 1 in 100 dudes can even be a part of it? You wouldn't want to save those kind of things. Just leave them to die on the battlefield. It's fine. Feed them to the Ripper Storms.
For the next generation.
Okay, now I need to go and look up Iron Snakes because Sean says they look freaking awesome. So, great paint scheme.
Oh, their paint scheme is amazing. They have one full-length book, maybe two now. I think it's only one. It was pretty good. It's just like It's told in like um just short stories, but
Neat.
all focusing around the same guy
Okay.
and kind of like his journey from like fresh recruit to new sergeant or to becoming a sergeant to new sergeant to all the way where he's actually considered um where he's a veteran sergeant, but he's considered to be one of the greatest space marines within the chapter and also a prospect for future chapter master. And he's
Neat.
like, "What, really?" And they're like, "See, this is why we picked you. You don't care about honors or fanciness. You just want to be a soldier and do your job. And that's why you're perfect for, you know, leading the chapter. Also, you're smarter than you give yourself credit for."
All right. That sounds
Yeah,
cool. Um.
maybe once we're done Project Never Fallen,
Oh,
I will go more into depth about a very interesting Space Marine chapter.
I have so many projects I want to do on stream. So many. So, you guys can see right now I am making a mess of this sword. This is Milliput, super fine. So all I'm doing is taking this Milliput, and for right now, I'm just gonna get chunks of it on there. So you can see I put my sneck on there, and then I stab it into the bits. We're gonna use an ancient technique called a brush full of water helps Milliput go into tiny crevices that you can't otherwise get with your dirty, gross fingers. It's a really good name for this particular technique. Very descriptive. But mostly what we're doing right now is jamming Milliput, whichever it is, into those bits. So Milliput is a two-part epoxy, sculpting epoxy. It tends to be finer in texture and less rubbery than green stuff is. Green stuff I find to be rubbery and sticky, and it doesn't like going into small spaces, whereas I feel like with Milliput, we can really push it into places that we wouldn't be able to get green stuff to go. Also, I find that Milliput tends to take better to sanding, at least to me, than green stuff does. So this is just a Q-tip. I wetted it down a little bit, and now I'm just using the flat side of that Q-tip to really push stuff in while it's wet. And we'll run over this a whole bunch of times until basically it comes back to just being the plastic of the blade again. So we'll continue on with this. Adam, I gotta say, my favorite of the I'm not going to go with successors, but all of the chapters right now that I've had a little bit more time to devote to 40k lore, I gotta say, before the fall, I got a real thing for our Night Lord friends, and I know that they are bad vampires, but I like them.
Man, I totally get what you're saying. Like, if I did a chaos army for 40k, which I won't because I don't want to just hate the army for losing all of the time. And because the Night Lords don't really like using demons.
Well, they're not demons.
No.
They don't use them at all.
Yeah, they're like, no, we are way scarier than demons. People are like, what? It's like, because we do the same stuff, but we're functionally more like we are like mortal in a sense.
We are just regular dudes who are even more terrifying than the things from the warp.
They also, like the Alpha Legion, do not have a home or spend that much time, or any time actually, in the Eye of Terror.
Yeah. Even before the fall, like before the whole Horus Heresy thing, there we go, got it out. They were angry bunch of dudes, and they definitely had no love for any of their fellow Astartes. Like,
No, like they
everybody else seems to have rivals. It seems to me that the Night Lords just hated everybody equally. Like, they didn't have a rival other than sort of the Dark Angels, but they just hated everybody equally. They were like, this is an equal opportunity for us to think you all suck, which I can get behind. That's a good attitude to go into life with.
Also, they have one of my favorite 40k weapons of all time, the Chain Glaive.
Ooh.
Because chain sword's just not enough. They need to put a bigger handle on it so you can swing it harder.
My favorite part of their like loadout is still lightning claws, so big fan. Big fan. Yeah.
I mean,
we took a power fist and then we added lightning to it because we could
make the power fist even better. What? If we put like 4 knives on it too.
Yeah. If we put 4 knives that also shot lightning bolts out of them onto a power fist. Now we're talking about a man's weapon.
I mean, if you want to talk about a man's weapon, we should probably bring up Hunger and Slake. The Carcharodon's Chapter Masters, Mastercraft, Chain Fist, Lightning Claw, Power Claw hybrids.
Okay.
Where he has palm-mounted underslung chain blades. I mean, dude couldn't hold anything with these things on.
Fair enough. They're not the holding type of gloves. They're the stabbing type of gloves, right?
They're the stabbing, slashing, shredding, grinding kind of gloves.
Those are my kind of gloves.
The largest Space Marine, who's like, it is canonical now because it is in their second book, The Outer Dark, which is really good. That he is nigh on Primarch side. He's a big dude. His Terminator armor, he's so large they had to use pieces of an old dreadnought to make him armor.
That is large. Sorry, I am sorting through my box for an old brush. Give me 1 second here. I can still hear you. Still enjoying the Carcharodons.
Yes. They are like, I think I hesitate to say, like, even though I am a Space Wolves player and I do love Space Wolves, kinda like Carcharodons a little bit more.
That's fair.
Because they're Maori shark warriors who fight entirely in silence. And
that's terrifying.
First book, the Red Tith or Tithe.
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 Yep.
Yes.
Somebody took comparative religions in university.
Yes. That was not me.
It was me. I did that.
I took. But in their first book, Red Tithe.
Tithe. Yep, we got it. You got it.
They're fighting the Night Lords, and while the Night Lords do seem to have the upper hand in the beginning of the book, it is mentioned that they find the fact that the Carcharodons fight and die in complete silence really creepy. Like, coming from the Night Lords, that's saying a lot. Like,
yeah, they're a bunch of creepy dudes themselves, so they should understand creep.
Yeah, the second book also alludes a little bit to the Carcharodons' mysterious origin.
Well, that's fair. I don't think there's is there, other than the 2 books, there's not lore for them, but there is rules for them in 40k now.
A third book is actually coming out that's written by a different author.
Neat.
That does go a little bit more into, apparently from what I hear, like a little bit more into like the darker side of the chapter and like their kind of origin story.
Cool.
but it's hinted that they are a hybrid of Raven Guard and World Eater.
Nifty.
Yeah, that's a strange combo of gene seed, if you ask me.
Well, at some point in time, I'm sure that Belisarius Kala has just gotten bored and is like, well, what if I mix these two?
Yeah,
I mean,
and they were actually, I guess, if you want to get technical, the very first successor chapter,
really?
as their accepted lore canon, is that they were true descendants of the Raven Guard, but members of the Raven Guard Legion from before Korax was found and joined.
Yeah.
And when he adopted the Legion, um, he found that remnants and large formations of the Raven Guard Legion were too reminiscent of like the prison hierarchy and oppressors that he around. Like they were brutal shock troops before. That's looking really good.
So yeah, all that I'm doing is Milliput. I know that Milliput shrinks as it dries, so I'm not terribly worried about getting this clean and perfect the first time. But I'll go through this and do it a couple times. So I put it on there. I get it relatively smooth, relatively well shaped, and then once it dries, because it's going to take about 24 hours or so to sand double, I'll just take needle file, get it down so it's back to flat plastic again. Make sure that I'm keeping the middle of that sword in the hollow grind all the way through the blade on both sides, and then I'll refill, put more milliput into that joint, and keep doing that until it comes out perfectly flat and we have no more terminus ultramare on that blade, because don't need that on there. We don't need no terminus ultramare. We don't need no thought control.
No, we do not. Yeah. The Carcardons are a thoroughly real interesting and creepy bunch of silent berserkers.
That's fair.
Like just the way it's talked about, like they fight like that unsuppressed battle lust like the pre-heresy world leaders did.
Fair enough. Hey, Sean and V, because you guys are part of our loyal family of viewers here, how's the sound tonight? Is this better than what it was? Give me some feedback in the chat just to let me know how this is going, because it sounds super weird inside of my headphones, but that doesn't mean it sounds bad on stream. It's great. Cool. Thanks, Sean.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we should probably get a little bit back on topic and talk about Dark Angel-y stuff instead of other chapters that we find much more interesting.
No, I think the Dark Angels are cool. They're warrior monks, and a big part of the lore that I wanted to keep is that they do come from like a feudal monk society, right? Like that was Caliban with the chaos beasts and whatnot. That was a big part of it. Was like a feudal order of knights before it, got turned into an industrial wasteland. But I like that because a big part of being a monk was actually like writing and illumination, and like the study of self and theology was sort of a secondary for most orders of knights, or sorry, of monks. And I want to kind of play up that like religious angle with our dudes here. Starting to get that pose together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And part of that is there's a tiny part of me that wants to still put the hood on our model here and give it more of a habit flavor as opposed to just a great coat that we're in right now. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I do like his kind of great coat and like how he like has shrugged the one side off, to get a better swing with his executioner's blade.
That's fair. See, now I got all. I wanna look at the cipher model because I do. Here's the thing: if we make it one of the fallen, like just a rando, right? Little quiet, but that's always better. No, all right. Well, we can turn Adam up a little bit as long as he's
Yeah,
nice.
I did turn up my input.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Through Discord. I did turn it down earlier.
That's fair.
Just because, for some reason, Discord doesn't want to put you through my headphones, and you only come through my my monitor speakers. So I didn't want to get the double feedback.
That's fair. I don't want the devil in our stream either. What do we say to the devil? We say no. We say perhaps.
It is time.
Ooh.
For Hits on 2+.
Hits on 2+. All right, Adam. Why don't you set it up for me? Why don't you explain what Hits on 2+ is?
So, essentially, this is what, like these are just like minis that Steve and I are like, hey, that's real neat. Maybe other people will think these are also real neat. And you guys kind of get to pick the one which is cooler.
Oh, as I copy the wrong link and try to open it. Sorry, give me 1 second here.
Hey, that's okay. I did that and then promptly saw that the one you picked and right below it that the guy had actually had done the Carcharodon Astro paint job. And I was like, haha.
Wow, I continue to fail at copying a link. Wow, yeah. I'm bad at this game some days.
So, like, essentially, what Hits on 2+ is Steve and I each pick a mini and an IG page or whatever. So far it's been all IG pages because there's some amazingly talented people out there on it. I'm watching you copy that on the...
Watching me struggle?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I'm glad I looked at the right...
I got fingers that are covered in milliput. Stop making fun of me. All right.
Yeah, so, and then, we let you guys in the comments after we're done the stream pick the one that you think is cooler.
Yeah, that's basically it. So
yeah, this is not going to be Steve and I arguing about why tribbles are beating Gandalf.
Well, because reasons. All right, Adam, why don't you set up your mini for us? What have we got here?
All right. This mini, if everyone goes to the lovely Instagram link, is by someone from London, Sinan Adamer. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to mispronounce it. But it's honestly one of my favorite chaos units, which are the Obliterators, and I love the new Obliterator sculpts compared to what they used to look like, which was like a Captain Power reject.
Aw, you didn't like our Tusky friends?
No, not a big Tusky boy, but I do like that. With this new mini for like lore and rule wise, is that they also gave it the option to spawn close combat weapons. Because despite that never being in the rules before, it's in multiple books where Obliterators suddenly spawn like Power Fists and Lightning Claws or like a Power Sword Blade to do the up close killing. But I really like on the, I guess like his leg that's forward, the right leg, just like the meaty, raw, meaty, infected grossness of his thigh.
Oh yeah, I gotta say the two parts of this model that I absolutely trip out over is the like gaping wound that it is his head / neck / the hole he looks out of. That is disgusting and great. I love it. And then how I'm not even gonna try the name, Sinan Adamer decided to put we've got gloss varnish, it looks like, across all of the skin, or at least it's not matte varnish. So it all looks slick and grossly shiny and raw and everything chaos should be.
If you look at the shoulders, he's got the red varnish.
I'm pretty sure it's blood for the blood god.
Yeah. Because those not in the know, obliterators grow their weapons out of their own body. The obliterator virus is super crazy. Not gonna lie, a virus I wouldn't mind getting would be the obliterator virus.
I absolutely disagree with you. I'm fine with not having giant person killing appendages. I guess I already kind of have those. They're called hands, but in this case, it is a heavy plasma. Let's see. He's got 2 heavy bolters, and I can't tell what the other one is growing out of him.
So we've got plasma cannon, heavy bolter, storm bolter, and what looks like a melta gun.
Might be a melta. I can't really tell, but no thanks. I'm cool with not shooting fist-sized bullets out of all of my appendages.
Or fiery hot star juice.
Or fiery hot star juice.
Or in the case of a melta gun, a really angry microwave.
Fair enough. I don't want to shoot an angry microwave.
Yes.
So again, if you want to vote for that down in the comments, just leave it after the stream is over, or you can put it in chat right now. We'll count chat, right? We'll count chat. Are we counting chat?
You know what? Right. With that, I'm actually going to check out last week's video and see if anyone commented on that to see if
I win. I looked at it. I won. Me, the winner.
Oh,
also,
man.
By me, the winner, I mean I went and found Thunderwolfen and it was like, Thunderwolfen's great. Let's look at Thunderwolfen's stuff. All right.
Yes, that is true.
I'm gonna put mine up here now, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe. I should have opened these long before the stream started, but then I forgot to. Okay, so this week I have chosen the dude I think paints the cleanest Space Marines on the planet. So it is 100% heavy metals painting style, but dude doesn't work for heavy metal and is apparently in the process of painting every single he wants to paint every chapter, every sub-chapter, every successor, and then all of the ones from lore. And so far, this is my favorite. So this is a Dragon Lord. And this is Lego Fingers. I should actually introduce him. Lego Fingers was actually the first dude that I liked on Instagram. So there you go. Congratulations, Lego Fingers. You were my first. But as you can see, the style is just super clean. And it is incredible how good the work is through every single model. And he puts out stuff at least once a week. When I chose this, there were fewer chapters done. So it is incredible work. I do love his little flames that gives me salamander vibes without the weird magma at the bottom of the salamanders one. He's got a custom decal for the shoulder pad. Just scumbag_customs did the decals for him. And actually, I'm working with Scumbag right now to make some custom stuff for our Blood Bowl teams. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, if you guys like this dude, there are a lot of Space Marines and they are all at least this good, if not better. So
yeah. So how Sean mentioned the Iron Snakes have a really cool paint job. They're on there. They are.
See, now you're gonna make me go and try and find him. Lego Fingers.
Down, he's got on the row in the middle.
Sorry?
If you scroll down this page, 8th row down, right in the middle.
These guys? Let's see. Necropolis Hawks. These guys. Sons of the Phoenix. Damn. These guys. Size of the Emperor. Damn. These guys. Iron Snakes! We did it. I got there eventually. I can count to 8.
So I'm glad you stopped on the Emperor size, because I have some canonical knowledge about them. They were wiped out by the very first Imperial encounter with the Tyranid Hive Fleet. They no longer exist. They were all killed.
That sounds bad for them. I feel bad for them. Man, just, it's so clean. And every paint job, so clean. There's a little bit, that's too much null oil. That's too much null oil, Lego fingers. What you doing? But, like, just absolutely incredible work. You can see the first founding chapters. He's got his, I believe this is his custom chapter. He's deleted some of the old stuff too. There was stuff that happened before this, but yep, there you can see he started it off again at Indominus, and is now through the first founding and into successor chapters. There are all the loyalist legions, and look, there's a little Dark Angel boy. Hello, Dark Angel boy. Look at him. All dark.
I mean, I guess they all are in order for the Loyalist legions.
Yep.
From first to last. It's like, who is that guy? That is actually a Iron Hands. The shiny silver hands should have given it away.
Yep. We got an Iron Hand. Yeah, so if you guys want to vote for Lego Fingers in the comments, the one specifically that we chose for this one.
Lego Fingers?
Yeah, his name is Lego Fingers with a Z. This is our Lego Fingers Dragon Lord. I just chose it because I loved the custom decal and the little flame detail. Super clean. Or you can go for Sign and Adamer. Both of them down in the comments. If you like one of them, go find them on Instagram. Tell them that you like them. Maybe tell them that I sent you. That'd also be cool. Or that we sent you. But yeah, go give them a like, give them a follow, and comment which one is your favorite. Let's get going. Oh goodness, that is awful. All right, and we're back. We are back to doing stuff. So I guess I want to decide by the end of the stream, do we want to go grab a cipher for this guy to be fighting, or do we want to find a first founding? Because I feel like the Fallen may have crossed the river Rubicon to become, or the river Primaris to become Primaris Marines, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that now that I'm saying it out loud. What do you think?
This is a good point. Like, I do like the idea of a lot of the Fallen being firstborn. Because, you know, they feel shunned and left out that all the new cool tall boys are around.
Right?
You know, there's only 30 some years, so they got proportions sort of right at Games Workshop.
Hey, so I went through and I found out that the only first founding brothers that I have are all Wolfpack or Grey Hunters, or Scouts. So I have Initiates, Grey Hunters, and Wolfpack. That's it. That's all I got for first founding. So I needed something to start measuring models and stuff and start deciding how I wanted this base to work. But yeah, so now we have, you can see on stream, that is our comparison for size. This is our Scarab Marine, our Thousand Suns Marine. But he is a first founding model at his base, so you can just see this difference in size. You can also see the difference in maybe my painting quality from, I don't know, these are probably 3-4 years now. Let's just, yeah, new Primaris Marines, way bigger, 30% bigger, now with 30% more Marine.
Yes. And they have a bigger gun. And
Well,
it's
of course they
also
do.
more proportionally sized.
Yeah, well, okay, so that pistol, about the size of his arm, that's still a really big gun. Remember how big the pistol was that's on this guy. So it came all the way down to there. It was as long as his arm. That is not a one-handed weapon.
It's like the size of his thigh.
Yeah, it was enormous. Just ridiculously proportioned. So, at this point, I'm going to spend a little bit more time cleaning up the shoulder pad. I keep reassembling the model because I'm checking for pose and I'm checking to see where I need to put work in, and where it's going to get mostly lost behind other details. So, like, do I need to spend a whole bunch of time, say, I don't know, working the inside of this shoulder pad? No, it needs to be done because I like these to be really nicely painted. But do I need to spend a bunch of time emphasizing detail and stuff? No, we're not gonna. We're gonna put it into big surfaces where it will make a difference while we're painting. But that's why I keep checking pose. I keep checking where exactly you're going to be able to even see the model and from what angle you can even see it from, because we don't need to spend a lot of time in the weeds. We can, but we're not going to. We got 20 of these dudes to build, so I have a feeling that by the time we are on to our next stream, which is next Tuesday at 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock Pacific. I can do time zones in my head. Shut up. 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock on the East Coast. By the time we're here next, we're going to be probably working on base codes. I might do a little bit of work modeling our base for these guys. But yeah, that's where we're going to be at. So I'm going to continue to clean this guy up tonight. Then next week we will get to start base coding. That's exciting, right?
Yeah. I just went in a little bit of a deep dive on Primarch weapons.
And?
Not gonna lie, Lehman Russ has a really cool name. His first one was Kraken Mob, but then Angron, because Games Workshop's so crafty, creating a name for the most angriest man ever, Angron.
Well, Angron makes sense.
Yeah. His first one was called Kraken Mob, but his second one was called Jalnar.
Jalnar?
But also Jalnar. So it's like almost like Mjolnir. Almost.
Okay.
It's Mjalnar.
Okay.
And you know, well, I guess it's Jalnar, like, but its other name is the Sword of Bale Knight.
Ooh.
Right? That is just creepy. But the Lion's Sword, aptly named the Lion's Sword, because yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Like, it doesn't even have like a cool alternate nickname. Like, it's not Jalnar, Sword of Bale Knight. It's Lion Sword, Sword of the Lion.
Sword of the Lion. Yeah.
Yeah. Not even Games Workshop likes the Dark Angels.
That's not true, because they have the three the swords, the meteorite swords. What are they called?
Oh, the Calibanite blades. Calibanite war blades. Yes.
And those are cool. I wanted to give this guy one of them. I wanted it specifically to be broken. Maybe we can make up a little bit of lore for, you know, it got broken on, well, the Deathwing were out doing Deathwing stuff. Maybe murdering Luther.
Yeah, sanctioned murder.
Well, they were out executing one of the fallen and it broke. And now they use it in only their most ridiculous murders.
That is fair. Oh, there we go. I was like, where is Lexi Canum's search bar. It is in the worst spot. Only complaint.
Well, that's fair.
Ah, there we go. Calibanite Warblade.
So I think,
Type of power sword used by the Dark Angels.
yeah,
Okay.
so there is the rank and file get the Calibanite Warblade, which is their like power sword. And then there are 3 blades, if I remember correctly, that are made of meteorite iron that they give specifically to like not chapter masters, but I think it's captains. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Maybe it is the chapter master who gets it.
Ah, you were thinking of the Calibanite Charge Blades.
Perhaps?
Weapons made of adamantium.
Nope. These are specifically meteorite iron.
Okay, now that I know about these, wow, these sound cool. An adamantium sword woven with charge conduits and linked to a high-capacity charge cell, so when you hit stuff, it goes off like a power fist.
Cool. That sounds
Right?
nifty.
Okay, let's see. I know what sword you're talking about too. I just don't. Charge blade. Flail of the Unforgiven. That sounds mean.
Flail of the Unforgiven is what they give the
Deathwing Knights.
yeah. So
Also
that they
the
can go and get confessions out of people. Confessions in this case means well, confessions in the good old sense of
Okay. Here we go.
oh,
I have
okay.
a list of all of the named swords.
Ooh, neat.
And
Sword
ooh,
names.
they are. Oh, you're thinking of the Heavenfall blades.
There we go. There they are. Heavenfall blades.
Mastercraft power swords wielded by the highest ranking members of the Dark Angels chapters. These weapons were crafted using a single block of jet black obsidian, according to chapter lore. The block was formed from the core of a meteorite that struck the rock. The Dark Angels forged a monastery in orbit over the pharaoh ruled of Al-Barabad.
Neat.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Azrael, the Grandmaster.
Good old Asriel.
Yeah, wields one. He wields the Sword of Secrets.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Sounds secret.
So then the Grandmaster of the Deathwing, Belial, wields the Sword of Silence.
Okay.
Are you ready for this next amazing Dark Angel's sword naming? The Raven Sword, wielded by none other than the Grandmaster of the Ravenwing, Samael.
I mean, okay. Let's talk a little bit about a name for this dude because we are using Azrael, a classic Latin Gothic name.
Yeah.
Samael. Belial.
Balthazar.
Yep. Cypher's not. It is Latin, but it's not. Sorry, it's not actually Latin. Cypher can't be. It has Y's and PH diphthongs, so can't be Latin. But I'm wondering.
Cypher's name is Zariel.
Yeah, there we
the
go.
last known Lord Cypher is Zariel El Zarias.
Yep, that's what I was thinking of. So, do we have? Maybe we need to come up with a name for this boy. This boy needs a name.
I mean, if anyone watching can think of a weird pseudo-Latin Gothic name for our dude.
Our boy.
So our boy.
Until somebody else comes up with a name, I feel like we should call him Frank. Do we want to go with Frank?
Yeah, I'll go with Frank.
All right.
Maybe if someone could come up with a weird pseudo-Latin version of Frank.
Well, that's pretty easy, but I don't want to give it away in chat. I feel like this is on you guys. You guys take some ownership of Frank here. Give him a better sounding name. Or we're going to exclusively refer to him as the Space Marine chat refused to name Frank.
Yes, or commonly known as Frank.
Frank, the Space Marine the chat refused to name.
I am actually kind of really digging this Dark Angels armory page I just discovered.
Yeah, they've got some really cool weapons. Like, I know that we've been sort of mean to our Dark Angel friend here, but for being a secretive, moody boy, they're actually a pretty cool chapter. I've listened to a lot of 40k lore over the last 2 weeks. Starting to gain some respect here.
Yeah, like the more I learn about them, kind of like the more I do grudgingly enjoy them. They're not Smurfs.
Right.
I do really dig the warrior monk aspect to them, like the Franciscan friar warrior monk aspect to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were the first Space Marine Legion, like created, fully formed, that trained the other legions and tested combat. And the Emperor was like, "Hey, you guys are my first. You are my uncrowned princes. Have access to all of my prescribed weaponry, like the Exterminatus torpedoes, or the Genophage, or Radwave."
Oh, other weird weapons that they have in 9th edition, they brought back stasis rounds, so they can literally just stop people because they're like, nope, sleepy time now. Specifically, the Ravenwing gets the stasis weapon or stasis rounds for their weapons, so they can drive around real fast, murdering fools, and just stop them in case they need to catch up. That doesn't make much sense, but we're gonna go with it. So,
That's a fun sounding gun.
what's that?
The Trirarian Pattern Neural Shredder Carbine.
Sorry, Neural Shredder?
Neural Shredder.
Sorry, Carbine? Carbine?
As in
Neural Shredder. Why? Why would they need? I guess, is it an anti-psyker weapon or? Because that sounds like something that they would give like a Calexis assassin or something. Somebody who needs to take out, I don't know, like a Primarch from 1,000 yards away.
Wow, okay, cool. It's literally a seizure gun. That's what it does. It kills you by overloading your nervous system and giving you super violent seizures. No, thank you.
No.
That is just real mean.
That sounds like something that is among the many things that violate the Geneva Convention in the 40k universe.
Oh, here's another.
Abotus? Abatius? Adaptius?
Adatius?
It's better than Frank. That's for sure. I mean,
here's another fun Dark Angels Heresy or Crusade era weapon, the Silica Virae, a nano virus. It is
viruses are already nano.
Its first part of the description is an ancient and monstrous weapon.
Huh. Well, that's probably going to get better from there, right? Like, they're going to be like, that was never used and no one ever even thought about it. Right? That's how 40k lore goes? Everything gets better?
Yeah.
Okay, glad you could confirm that. No need to hear anything more.
Oh. Yeah.
You keep saying, huh, and yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna get worse, isn't it?
Oh, it gets so worse because I read about what it does.
Oh, given by God. Okay, all right.
Hours all life at the like nanomolecular level. It's like a slightly nicer way of an Exterminatus torpedo.
That sounds bad. Let's be serious here. That sounds horrifying. Every weapon in the 40k universe is like, oh yeah, no, it just like melts your insides. It's fine. Oh, not just your insides. Sorry, we said that wrong. It melts everybody on a planet's insides simultaneously. slowly, because we tried the fast one for a while and it wasn't as effective. All right.
Oh, all right, cool.
Adam, do you want to take a swing at Sean's name? Adiodaptus? Adeodaptus. Yeah, it'd be Adeodaptus.
You know what? Another helpful tool is Google can Translate with its speak function.
Ooh.
And I can set it to Latin, because that's the thing you can do with computers and stuff these days.
Thank you, Speaky Computer.
Hello, computer.
Hello, computer.
Ah, yes. Hello, computer.
Hello, computer. That is not a good Montgomery Scott, but I try. All right, I'm trying. Right now, so you guys can see, I just put a little pip in the bottom of this dude's head. I'm gonna grab my drill because I'm gonna mount his head separately. So we are gonna be painting this guy in sub-assemblies. We will sort of rejoin him using blue tack one last time when we go to do primer and stuff. But for right now, I'm just gonna spend a second, put pinholes in his leg, one in his head. I'll probably just glue into the backpack, because if you take a look at the backpack, there's just that big massive hole in the middle of it that we can use for just gluing on a toothpick or something, so that we have a way to hold it. There we go. We get rid of some more blue tack on there. So that'll take care of that. And then both arms also have sockets inside of them, so I'll glue probably into the socket with super glue on that one. And this one I might have to drill out just because it is a flush joint on there. So I'll probably be putting holes in this, holes in his foot, and definitely at least one hole in the bottom of his head. All right, continue on, Adam.
So Google Translate has given me both the Latin pronunciation and the English, and they're wildly different.
That's fair. That sounds right.
We were pretty close. It's Adeodatus.
Okay.
And then what is the English pronunciation is actually hyphenated.
Okay.
Or not hyphenated, whatever the floaty comma. I can't remember what its name is.
Has a tilde? Floaty comma. As in like an apostrophe?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Floaty comma.
Floaty comma. Yeah, this is what happens when I spend my days picking rocks and listening to music.
Hey. It's all good.
It is pronounced El Hanan.
El Hanan?
English. Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it's English, but sure.
Yeah, right? I was like, and then I'm seeing things like, hey, how good is Google Translate? Why is Google Translate so bad? So
Yeah.
if someone wants to like help with, how to pronounce that,
as somebody who was in choir for 12 years of my life, oh god, and can't sing, I'm gonna go with Adeodatus or Adeodatus, one way or the other. One of those two, pretty close with Latin, because I cannot tell you how much liturgy I've sung in my life. Too much.
Whole lot.
Too much of the Catholic liturgy has come out of my mouth. Too much.
Hey, creepy Facebook. Thanks for listening to me this time, because you just recommended to me The Verge of War.
Neat.
And I really like their minis.
Well, so you got cookies all over your computer now, so it'll continue to recommend that for the rest of until you buy something else that they're bidding on. So
remember how I was talking about the cork the other day?
Yeah.
I think I just found the minis I'm using.
Ooh. My yeah.
Probably gonna be short.
Fair enough. I'm gonna try and not talk about the super secret project yet. Sorry, I am keeping this very close to my face as I am trying not to
Yeah, I
stab
don't even know what
myself. So
project is.
I will put this back on stream so that, yeah. All right, we will continue to not stab myself. So I'm just using the end of the knife blade to enlarge that hole a little bit so that I can get the drill started without ruining the rest of the resin around it. Go ahead, Adam.
I was just gonna mumble on about the Quark.
Oh,
But they have
continue
absolutely nothing
mumbling.
to do. I'm actually gonna go back to reading more about Dark Angel weaponry because it's creepy and awesome. They use what is it called? A Phosphex incinerator cannon.
Okay, that just sounds like burning people with flares, with road flares.
Is this known a Phosphex weapon is known as living fire or crawling death or ice fire due to its attraction to movement and sub-zero burning temperature. It's so cold it burns.
Yeah, I've been outside in that before. It's called
Yeah, me too.
February.
Huh. So most legions were hesitant to use it, including guard, who's like bread and butter is legit trench and chemical warfare. We're like only the Primarch can order us to use this kind of weapon because it sounds like semi-sentient cold fire, which kind of just gave me chills, and I might have nightmares tonight now.
That doesn't sound fun. There's a variety of reasons why that doesn't sound fun, but you know.
Some automatic pulse pistol. Okay.
Also, I should say this out loud right now because I'm on stream and it's a responsible thing to do. Resin is real poison. It's real poisonous. Don't let your dogs or family members put it inside of their mouth. I should probably be wearing gloves and a respirator right now. Resin is poison. Even when it's hard, it's still poison. It's bad for you. Continue.
Cool. So, it doesn't actually say what the adamantic pulse pistol does because it's so evil that tech priests will not recreate it, and the only known ones to be held are in the Dark Angels Legion Armory and the Primarch Ferris Madness's personal sidearm.
Huh.
Its only description of what it does is they were very rare and very valuable and capable of piercing the plating of almost any armored vehicle known to the armies of mankind. It is an anti-tank handgun.
Huh. That seems crazy and unnecessary, but also super badass.
Its name makes me think of it's like an atomic ray gun. Yeah, that's cool.
That is neat, and by neat I mean terrifying. Terrifying.
Now I'm into the ever popular section of biological weapons, primarily the gene phage. Ugh.
This is, I assume, a virus designed to just wipe out an entire planet full of people. Based off of how our explorations into the weaponry of the Dark Angel has gone so far.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that seems like where we're going to. That sounds like the part of town we live in.
We're actually known to heavily favor the gene phage as a weapon.
Yeah, they did a lot of genocide. So part of Luther and Lionel Johnson's falling out that I was kind of flippant about before was definitely the genocide. Lionel, not super in on it. he went and talked to Sanguinius once, and Sanguinius is like, maybe don't do genocide. And he was like, you're right. You're a good guy, Sanguinius. No more genocide for me. And Luther was like, I committed like 6 more genocides while you guys were talking. What's up? And
Like, I was only gone for 5 minutes. That's a lot. That's a genocide a minute.
that's literally his sort of MO. And that was why they were like, friends off. Because
Yeah.
the lion kept being like, no, stop doing that. And he was like, but I'm good at it. Look at us. We're Astartes. We're great. And lion was like, you're not Astartes. You're not even my right-handed man anymore. Go home. Yep. And that was when Luther was like, meh, I'm gonna get mad. And someday the forces of chaos will take over my body and I will get to shoot a giant demigod killing pulse of psychic energy at you. At any rate, so I got that little hole drilled in the bottom of the head there. So I'll just insert, I've got wire that is, it's 1.7 millimeter drill bit. I did progressively step up to it. So I started with a fairly small drill bit and then moved up, especially with resin. Resin is brittle, where plastic is sort of pliable and malleable. You can get away with bending it and stuff. Resin is super brittle. If you try going in with the big drill bit right away, it's just gonna flake off and crack and bad times will happen. So step up drill bits, poison, it's poison. It's poison. One more time. This stuff is poison. Don't put it in your mouth. Even when it's fully cured, it is carcinogenic. And that goes for all the fine cast kits that you get from GW and stuff too. You should really pay attention to that stuff. I'm going to spend a little bit of time. As I said, I'll put a hole probably in his foot. We're going to put one in the sword arm. And then we'll get this stuff all ready to go for next week when we'll put a base coat on it. And then we'll mount it all on the individual pins. And then we'll start getting this guy painted. Yeah, so you can join us again next week as we continue it on. You can also join us on Thursday. So on Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. or 8 Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock right here in Calgary, Alberta, we will be back with the new Helmgard Giants. You can join us here. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, chatting with us. Sean V, thank you guys so much for being in chat. And Jamie was in there too. I'm Stu Thomas.
Make you bacon cookies.
Yeah, and she made you cookies. I'm Stu Thomas, Choice Minis. You can follow me on literally every social media at Choice Minis. Adam, where can people follow you?
People can follow me on Instagram at beach_vacation_Mando and follow my incredibly slow journey into the world of cosplay and being a Mandalorian, because as everyone who's watched The Mandalorian and or read any of the comic books, they are awesome. And no, Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian.
Nope. No, he's not. All right.
His father was a Mandalorian exile. I've said it.
At best, he's a Mandalorian exile. He is actually just a thief. If you like what you saw, take a moment, give us a like, subscribe, hit the little bell thing so you can hang out with us. We would love it if you could all head over to at Lego Fingers and at Sonata Atamar to give them some more love. If you have any suggestions for more models we can feature, or if you want to be a part of the Hits on 2 Plus, go ahead, send your entries to choiceminis@gmail.com. If you can, support us by buying merch. You can donate, links in the description, or really just keep watching, tell a friend about us. Adam, I love you, man. We'll see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday, dude.
All right. Don't do nothing about white supremacy. See you, everybody.